Welcome to the Landis Performance Channel. We have a few vehicles in the shop right now that we're performing EFI conversions on, and it got us thinking we should discuss fuel systems and fuel tanks on carbureted non-EFI vehicles. Now, if you want to install fuel injection on your carbureted vehicle, it's very easy. Holley makes quite a few different products that will make it seamless and trouble-free. So the first vehicle we're working on is a 68 Camaro, and it has a stock 350 in it, and we're going to put a Sniper throttle body on it and put this fuel system in it. You'll be able to see the video of the Sniper install coming up soon. The second Camaro, also a 68, has a 408 LS, and it has a dry system of nitrous on it. Now that car has a lot more fuel requirements, so it's going to have to take a much larger fuel system to handle that. Plus, we're going to do an E85 conversion also, so it will be a true flex fuel vehicle, which again increases the volume of fuel that will be required. The third vehicle has a Terminator throttle body on it, and it's a 1946 Ford. That system has already been installed, but we'll show you a couple neat tricks that Holley has for those also. To add fuel injection to your carbureted gas tank, Holley makes a number of different fuel systems like this, fuel pump rather, that go into the stock location. This goes into the stock fuel tank, factory sending unit, still has your float, has a 255 liter per hour free flow pump, and it has a 100 micron sock on the bottom of it, so you don't have to use a pre-filter. This also has a regulator built in, so that this is a non-return system and rated at 58 to 60 psi. Now on Sniper kits and low horsepower Terminator kits, we like to use this setup because we can use the factory steel hard lines in the car just by removing all the rubber and replacing it with EFI rated hose. Makes for a very clean installation, and we can use all the factory stuff. Now, Holley also makes an EFI conversion tank that would use this type pump. This is a 400 liter per hour. This would be good for 700, 750 horsepower. It is a return. You have feed and return. And that again has a sock on it that eliminates a pre-filter. Now on the 68 Camaro with the LS engine, we're having to go to a hydramat setup like this. And this is a -10 going into the tank with a hydramat sock. 100 micron, so you don't have to use a pre-filter. And the cool thing about the hydramat is one corner of this can touch fuel and it will still draw fuel without sucking air. The rest of it will not pull air. You can see a cool video on this in the description below. Of course, we have a return, and the return is blowing back on the sock. But with this setup, you can put this in a regular fuel tank and not get fuel slosh under hard cornering or hard acceleration or braking. Now, if you didn't use the hydramat, you'd have to add this 100 micron pre-filter to your system. You always have to filter before the fuel pump, or you could have debris lock the pump up. Now on that LS Camaro, we're going to use this pump. This is a 1200 pump from Holley with a 10 micron outlet filter, and you can see it uses a -10 feed and a -8 to the engine. This pump can handle 1200 horsepower, so this will be more than sufficient for our LS with nitrous and the extra demand of E85 fuel. This is a stainless steel fuel tank from Holley under the Sniper line. Made out of stainless steel, it's 18 gallons, and you can see it uses the factory style pickup assembly, which our fuel pump will fit into. So this is our fuel pump assembly that's going to go into this fuel tank. As you can see, this is a large unit and it has to fit in this tight hole, but Holley has got a trick for doing that. The system also comes with all the appropriate pieces to finish it. So to install this, we're going to remove these two screws here and pull the sending unit assembly off. Install the pump into the tank, and as it gets in, reassemble this as it's partially in the tank. And just like that, it's in. A little tricky, but it does fit in without any problem at all. Okay, so the other vehicle used an OE tank that we put the fuel pump in. Now that can go into a stock tank, or you can buy the stainless or a coated tank from Holley to replace an old rusted tank. For the higher horsepower Camaro, we're going to use this tank. This is the Sniper EFI conversion tank. It features corners that are 45 for wide tires for back half cars and make more room for exhaust to go past the gas tank. Now you can use the 255, a 400, or our own assembly with an external pump. This is what we're going to install. Now to get the hydramat into the tank, we simply fold it up. And then bolt it down. Now this assembly we built and designed ourselves. The fuel tank comes with a solid plate, and we drilled it and then used the Earl's fittings, bulkheads, half-inch stainless line, tube nut adapters, etc. But that's it. For extra insurance, you could use a aviation type sealant on the cork, but this tank is ready to install. Okay, this is the 46 Ford, and this system has already been installed. Now, this is a vehicle that nobody makes a in-tank pump for the stock tank. So what we've done here is we use a 255 liter per hour inline pump and this very unique fuel filter regulator assembly. Now that is made by Holley. It flows 175 gallons per hour, and it has a built-in regulator to operate the fuel system at 58 to 60 psi. Now, a lot of people will use the Corvette filter with regulator built in, but that's going to be a disposable piece. You'll have to throw it away, and it requires special AN fittings to connect hoses to. Where this unit, you can take it apart. It has a stainless filter. You can clean it as many times as you want, and it has either -8 or 3/8 NPT fittings, so it's very easy to plumb into your system. You'll also notice that the fuel pump is mounted below the fuel tank. That is a must when doing fuel injection. The pump doesn't like to pick up uphill, so it's always best to mount it at the bottom. Well, I hope you're able to find some useful information for either making a decision about putting EFI on an older vehicle or just figuring out how to do the installation. All these parts that you've seen are all available at racersupply.store.com. You can see a link in the About Us on our channel. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment if you had any questions about any of the products or the way that we installed, or have questions about the way to do your installation. We appreciate you watching our show. See ya!